Hello and welcome to Stahls TV. I'm Bob Robinson and we're glad that you're here with us today. Glad you took some time out of your day to tune in. And today we're on part 2 of Garment Goldmine. 2 days ago, Courtney spent some time in CADWorks Live showing you how, hopefully most of you got to see that episode. If not, please look at some of the archive videos. You can see how a lot of the designs that we're going to press today were created. But she spent some time in CADWorks Live showing you how to create designs that will include mixed media. Not the same, just a single one color type of logos on top of t-shirts, but how, and that's what we're talking about here, how to increase the garment value by printing mixed media. Putting different types of heat transfer films or regular transfers, rhinestones, whatever the case could be. But you're starting with the garment, it costs you this much, it's worth so much. And when you add a design to it, it's worth more because you've embellished it. It's personalized, it's customized, it's advertising for the customer. But if you add additional embellishments to it, you are going to get a lot more out of that. It increases the value. People say, wow, that's no longer just the standard stuff that we get from screen printers or wherever you may be getting them from. So the whole point of today is going to be largely just demonstration. A lot of the designs that Courtney K had created a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago, seems like a couple weeks, a couple days ago. And we've taken some of the designs and used sometimes the same media she had in mind. Sometimes we mix them up, but you'll get the idea as we go. So, welcome. Thanks for coming in. We're going to step up and start pressing right away. The very first one that we're looking at, we're going to be looking, and I'll announce each one so we know what the media is and the time and temperature. And I've got a cheat sheet. I won't lie to you because there's a whole lot of different things here, and I want to make sure I use the right time and temperature and pressure on everything that we're going to do. So, I'm going to step up to the heat presses and get to work. I'm going to be largely working on the Hotronix Fusion. I'll step off to this side. Hopefully that gives me a little bit better look of the heat press. Today, here's the design. I'm going to show it up to you here now. This is Flake and hologram. Now, what she did is she did the knockout feature in the CADWorks Live. The knockout feature allowed us to take another image that was superimposed inside of this. Well, Flake is not something that you technically like to layer on top of. A lot of cases we could just lay right on top of this design if it's a 2-color fashion film or premium plus type of logo. Here, the Flake doesn't take well for designs on top of it, so therefore we had to knock it out. There's several media that are like that. Glitter Flake's another one that don't really allow for a second layer directly on top of it. Therefore, we have to trap that design, knock out the image that we're going to do. Basically, the same image is there, but we've superimposed an image inside of another. So we're going to always start, in my opinion, the easiest way is to start with the largest part of the design. These are stuck together. I don't want you to think that this was some kind of magic. I've got two hooked together here. I should probably pull that off to show you that. But I'm going to start with the largest one so I get good registration on the shirt, because this is actually going to determine where the actual image goes onto the shirt, and then we'll line up this design as well. By itself, I can't even tell what it is, but when it's on here, it's going to look great. Let's get started. Hopefully we can get you a top view of this press. And there you go. As always, threadability is key and the right size platen. This is a little bit smaller shirt because it's a dance type of deal, so it's kind of a, I don't know, warm-up type of fleece. Going to pull that collar off of the press just to minimize how much restriction we have as far as extra pressure on here. Preheating. This press is at 320 for 10 seconds in both cases. And especially right now, actually that worked out pretty darn well. I'm going to give it just a turn. The preheat was one to get rid of the moisture and the wrinkles, and secondly, it's also there because I didn't know what my pressure was set at until I actually locked it down on top of the shirt. All right, since we're working upside down, I'm going to put the design upside down, at least for me. Check my application sheet, check twice, press once, my creed. These are both cold peel, so I'm going to press this one. Now, in the case of production, in your case, you don't want to be, if you've got 15 of these, you're not going to sit and wait for each one to cool. You're going to press all of the pink or flock layers first, and then peel them, and then come back and add the other one on. Going to let that cool just a bit. And of course, I will always push the envelope. And cheat a little bit and see if I can get it peeled off a little bit quicker, a little sooner. Just know that we're going to get a second application. Yeah, it says cold peel. I'm peeling this fairly warm, although you want enough time for that to gel. And I'll just be careful when I get to some of the real fine detail areas. A lot of it has to do with how deeply you cut. If you get too deeply in there, then some of the adhesive wants to get stuck in that carrier, and it will want to pick up a little bit too. But since the lovely and talented Karen Ross cut these, I guarantee they're accurate. Karen is actually facilitating for us today. I failed to introduce her to you, so she will be hearing hearing her voice at one time or another. Also, speaking of that, if you have questions of any kind, well, not any kind, I won't answer all of them, just the ones that pertain to the class today, feel free to chat in the chat box. Throw those questions out, and Karen will let me know that we have a question, and I'll do my best to answer. As you can see now, we're just trapping this. I don't know if my head was in the way or not, but there's a perfect place for these to line up, and I think we've pretty much done that. Yes, we did. And I'm going to cover this and press. So yeah, any questions anytime, type them in, shout them out, your version of shout them out. I wish I could see your hands raised and pick on the last kid in the class, but can't do that, so you'll have to type. Again, another cold or warm peel. You see me off camera, I'm probably more than likely trying to cool this down on a tabletop or a wall or a window. Some people will keep a cookie sheet or something that's cold that actually helps pull the heat out of that design. Lay it back down here and see if that comes out. And fear not, if you're blocked out of the way here, we're going to throw that down on a table for you to see it up close when it's all said and done, so you can inspect my work. If I screw it up real bad, I won't throw it down. All right, let's take it over to the money shot here. There you go. Pink flock onto a gray warm-up with the purple hologram really brings out that image nicely, regardless of what you're superimposing inside of that design. The whole point of all this is not just to see how cool a design I can make, which is awesome, but also how much more I can get out of this, because they never saw anything like this from another decorator. This is just cool stuff. All right, if you're good with that, you can stay on that one for just a little bit while I find our next victim. All right, the next one we're going to be doing, looks like we've got a golf shirt. Same principle, we're dealing with flock again. And flock is kind of underutilized. It's a nice fabric. It's a nice material. Blends in with the fleece type of fabrics really, really well. Gives you a very, very soft hand, very soft to the touch, because it is almost a material or a woven type of fabric, although it's not really. But it's got that velvety type of feel. So it's kind of overlooked, and I think it needs to make a resurgence. We're going to do this is a standard golf shirt or polo shirt, and the image here is the flock M with the word Mustangs superimposed. Now in this case, as you see when we get up here, this was what we call a gap outline. So you've got trap and you've got gap, easy to remember. The trap designs are just supposed to fit directly, exactly where that piece of puzzle goes. The gap outline allows the fabric to show through. In a lot of cases, it helps to make it a little more readable to have some of the fabric shown through, or gives you yet another color without having to press it. Now I've got a third color, which is the fabric showing through as the outline around the design. So the flock M and I believe that's fashion film Mustangs. Now because I've got buttons on this shirt, we'll go ahead and go GoPro again over top view. I've got two ways to go here. I can change the Platen and put like you've got the 11 by 15 on there now. I've got this 6 by 10 that I could put in there because the whole point is we're trying to get away from the buttons on this shirt. The other option too is, you know what, I've only got one of these, I don't really necessarily have to change all that. I can actually just lay this Print Perfect pad down on top of there too and make that my left chest area. Some people actually mount one of these on a 16 by 20 or 11 by 15 so that it just stays there so they know that helps with their location as well. I'm going to opt for that right here just because I want to. And Karen's not going to boss me around. So that pad is now right here, and that's probably about the optimum place for this design. Getting away from these buttons, as you can imagine, putting that 3/8 thick pad in there, I'm going to have to back the pressure down significantly because now that's going to create extra pressure if I'm not careful. All right, kind of like that. All right, so we've got that in place. We'll have perfect location of the left chest. Typically lined up with the center, or the center of the design, somewhere around where this collar meets the shoulder, and it's usually a lot closer to center than what you think. So always, if you're going to err to one side or the other, err to what's a little closer to the center of the shirt. You'll appreciate it in the long run. I'm going to let that cool just a bit. Actually may even utilize this extra Platen I've got here to help take out some of that heat. It's not super cold, but it's a lot cooler than what that design is. There you go. And you'll find that a lot of our instructions may be a little bit, I would say overkill, but a little more protective, careful. You'll find the limitations of what you can get away with as you use products over and over. What's called a hot peel probably should be called a warm peel in some cases, but it would definitely will peel cold, so we're erred on the side of safety. Lining up that Mustangs and are giving that perfect gap outline around the design. That's actually a pretty cool, classic looking varsity look there. Kind of love that actually. Going to cover it and press again. Why did we cover it? There's exposed image there on the flock below. Not that I think you're going to affect that flock all that much, but what you could affect is some of the adhesive from the outside edge of it could, spread out and stick to the top to the press, and the next time I press something else, it could transfer over to the other shirt. Now that one can peel hot because it is fashion film. Take it to the money shot. Awesome varsity type of look, classic collegiate type of look for here. Again, nice soft hand on that. Just improved, increased the value of this shirt tremendously. Instead of that just being all one black Mustangs, we just got both their colors involved. Didn't really take that much more to do it, and it's a cool look. It's a cool look as well. We're all here to make money, right? So the more profit we get per piece, the less we have to work to be successful. All right, next step up. We're looking at the Lion Softball, which is Premium Plus and Glitter Flake. Now the thing with Glitter Flake, well, this one actually is not that big a deal, as you will see. But remember, these are designs that were done trying to show the artwork. So in this case, the Premium Plus could have been down, and this could have been laid over top of it, but we did. Let me get rid of the shirt here so I can show you. But Courtney, again, was showing you the knockout version or feature within the CAD-Works Live, so she actually did cut out that Lions logo. This could actually go on just like it is. but it just says Lions. The rest of the information is here. It gives you a two-color look. And if this had been the opposite, this was glitter flake on the bottom, then we definitely would have needed to do this block out. So this principle still applies regardless. All right, let's go top view again. We're going to start with that Premium Plus, but knowing that the other logo is going to come into play. Again, using 11 by 15 Platen, sliding it all the way on to kind of center it and then pulling it back evenly so that I maintain as straight as I can be. I'm going to automatically give it some pressure because remember we took that pad out of there, so it's probably going to need an adjustment. It doesn't hurt to have the whole design semi put together so that when you register this you don't get it too high or too low because you forgot about the part that was above or below the design. Lady shirts I like to keep as high as possible, especially if they're a V-neck. I kind of crowd those, so I'll get this up a little bit higher. Plus it's a very small shirt with a bigger design, so we're going to keep this, hug this up to the close to the top as possible. So basically what I'm looking at, I can stay about an inch or so away from the collar here. Premium Plus is a great product because, and this happens to be just a, well, this is a, looks like a ring spun cotton, but Premium Plus has a nice wide range of temperatures. So if this happened to be polyester, I can go as low as 280 degrees. Of course I didn't preheat, so I'm fired. Let's check that out first. Yeah, I overdid it. So we checked that first. All right. But I like the Premium Plus because it does have that stretch and rebound factor. So when I'm going on to performance wear, Under Armour type of products, it's going to give that stretch for me. Also gives me, I think, a softer hand just because it is a little more rubbery than some of the other materials out there. But I can go at 320, which is helping me in production-wise because I don't have to necessarily change my press by 10, 20, 30 degrees. It's got some flexibility. Premium Plus is a warm peel, so we're going to take some of the heat out again. Another reason for you to buy all the Platens that there are, just so you have this to take the heat out. All right, you have to buy them all, but having something here definitely helps with this. But again, if you were doing this in production and you had 15, 20 of these shirts, you would press all this black first, and then you would come back after the fact and add the red to it while it cooled. You wouldn't have to worry about the time spent in between. And if you pick this up and something lifts a little bit, don't panic. You're okay. Just put it back down and press it again and let it cool a little bit longer. So all we're looking for is that adhesive to gel and to set so it actually grabs the fabric. All right. I do try to keep my shirt in place as much as possible so I don't stretch or distort it while it's still warm because I do need that little line to fit in there pretty nicely. So if I would stretch it way out of distort it too much, I could end up with a little bit of gap issues and show some white. I'm going to do my best to not have that now. I think we're there. Covering again because I do have some exposed Premium Plus. Locking it down. So far we've been all at 320 for about 10 seconds on each one of these. We'll get into some, and we push the limits on some things and knock the time down to allow for the extra heat on some just so we can get through the production here. In reality, you should definitely try to stick as close to the manufacturer's instructions as possible, which would be us. That's another good look. I like that look a lot. Coming to the money shot. There you go, line softball. The light's in here because I don't have a direct light on. It doesn't give you it doesn't do it justice as far as the glitter goes. But I think most of you are probably aware of how dramatic that glitter flake can be. It really stands out, pops this out. I love this design. Perfect, good contrast, black, red on white. That's about as readable as you can get. Whiter backgrounds with a darker text is more readable than anything else. If you're trying to, obviously trying to send a message. But in a lot of cases, people like a tone-on-tone type of thing because it's a little more fashionable, a little more hip, a little more today. All right, let's see what we're heading to next. By the way, do we have any questions at all? I feel like I'm here all by myself. Help me out. I just need to know that you're out there. Just say hi. That's good. Am I okay? Anyways, next step up. We did the line of softball. BDG dancers. Now this is fashion film with hologram. Fashion film being hot, hologram being cold or warm, as we found out. I'll show you the design. Another what we call a gap design. As you can see, maybe I'll show it up against me and try to get rid of the reflection. You've got the fashion film metallic silver below, and then the pink hologram with a gap outline again, helping to make this stand out a little bit. Again, not necessarily with these chosen materials did I have to gap, or Courtney have to gap this, but again, it's going on to a different color shirt. It's another pink, so you get a kind of a tone on tone, but it's going to give me just a little bit of highlight to make those stand out without adding another color into with material. So I can actually utilize the fabric as the extra color. Have they been reversed? Yep, well, definitely could not go on one on top of the other. And let's go to a top shot here. Whoa. I guess I wasn't aware what that was going to be. That's a deep scoop neck tank top, so we're going to get this right up to here, and this design will play right up to the edge of the seam. Otherwise, we'll have what we call a belly print. Not a fan of those. Preheat, making sure pressure is good, moisture and wrinkles are gone. Good news with fashion film specifically, it goes on, it has such a tacky carrier that it peels so red hot that I can tack it for just a second, so I don't have to worry about that distortion or potential distortion issue that we could have. And so this is the top of my image, so we're going to lay it right up close to the edge. And all the little dancer girls go down below. People will ask, why aren't you covering now? Yeah, we tell you, all of our customer service and everybody, we train you to cover every time. The carrier itself is a protective carrier for this. It's a cover for the materials. There's no material exposed here. The only reason I would cover it is just in case there was something on that platen from previously that somebody didn't wipe off if there was a problem, or somebody pressed the transfer upside down. Oh, I said I was going to do that quickly. It was quicker than normal, but you see it just peels right off like butter when you first press it. Now I can align the same type of logo. And we're hoping that this is some inspiration for you. I'm not saying obviously once we do a couple of these you get the concept. Yeah, I get it. We can knock these things out here, but seeing different logos, different designs, the way they finish off, help inspire you on how to create artwork that will sell and afford you a much higher price per design, especially when you talk about the dance wear and things like that. This is it's a big market and a lot of money. Trust me, I had a girl in dance and know what it cost. Now we'll go the full dwell time here, so that not only is the hologram sealed down, but also the fashion film has got its full dwell time now, so the couple seconds that I press it for first. And we're cooling. If at this point something picked up, but it's laid back down, I felt, ooh, that could pick off, I could just cover this with a cover sheet and press it one more time. In fact, a lot of people do a second press or a third press at the very end just to make darn sure that everything is done. Let's go to the close-up. Another cool look, really dynamic look on that pink hologram. Also with the silver, sets it off nicely. Just a little more subtle here and really eye-popping down on the pink. This is this is from Boxer Craft, so the garment itself is definitely something very trendy that people want to buy. We've already got a high-end shirt, let's put a high-end design on that. We can now charge so much more than this. It's better than, you know, just a $2 t-shirt with a 50-cent design on it. We talked about the hot peel capabilities of the fashion film. We're going to do one now, which is nothing more than just a two-color logo. But again, it's not necessarily has to do with the artwork as much as it is. This is the way you traditionally do it, just two layers, bottom layer, top layer, peel, you know, peel quickly, cover, press, end up with a two full-color design. This is fashion film on fashion film electric with the Mustang Pride. This is in the, what's it called? Prism. Thank you very much. I always call it, it looks like the back of a toolbox for on a pickup truck, but I got it. Prism. Yep, lost my mind there for a sec. Gives you a nice, you know, still fashion film, still in the same, pretty much the same price range as the standard stuff. Just a little bit of an upgrade, but you get a nice dimension in there. Just showing again two types of media, mixed media on the same shirt. I love the fact that I just keep using this 11 by 15. This particular shirt, District Made, another trendy line from Sanmar. Very soft ring spun type of cotton, gives you that real fashion type of feel. Very blocky type design here, so it's going to be real easy to align, but it's definitely a bold statement as far as the image goes. Mustang Pride. Of course, the toughest thing is getting these separated because I can't find it. There it is. Since it's fashion film, we know that we can just tack this for a second, peel it hot, press the other. Helps in production time and keeps the distortion at a minimum. Shirt hardly moves at all when I do it that way because it is so, kind of liquefies that adhesive. Now we'll take a little bit of time and just try to line this up as best we can, keeping the same gap outline all the way around the outside. The rest will take care of itself. And of course, you know, we always fret and carry on and spend way more than what we probably need to when we're doing this on our heat press. The principle is there. If someone gets a micrometer out and measures the fact that you were a ½ millimeter justified left, good for them, but it's still totally acceptable. You've got a lot of leeway there. So when you are designing these, give yourself a little extra gap. Don't necessarily go so tight that it's almost impossible to line up. Or at least proof it that way to start off. Your customer's going to make the ultimate decision, but give them the safer option up front. Another great look, more contrast. I guess I like contrast. It really stands out. And we made these images for a reason. We want people to read them. We want them to make a statement. We are proud of our Mustangs, so therefore we're going to give them something bold and powerful. It's a good look. And it's still, even with two layers, that's still not bad. That's not super heavy. It's not like, wow, this is just really weighty on the shirt. Very flexible, very thin material. Love it. That's worth some money. Next, we're going to feature one of our newer materials. I'm sure a lot of you have seen or heard of it. We're starting off with the fashion film as a purple layer. And then we are going to put the enhancement, which you can barely see through that until I get it on something dark, of chevrons with the second layer as well as the word dance team underneath. Now this is going to be more of a tone-on-tone type of look, which is what I love about the Glaze. This product is called Glaze. And it's very iridescent. When I put it on the shirt, it will change colors depending on how it catches the light. If you'll pick up some green from over here or some orange from over there. It just gives you that oil slick type of look that's awesome. But when you lay it on top of something darker, it stands out even more. So you'll actually get to see the actual designs, the patterns within. I like it in a pattern type of situation. It really enhances enhances it tremendously. So this being fashion film on the bottom, that's going to be 320 for 10, 15 seconds. We're going to peel it hot, and then we're looking at the glaze. Now that's a cold peel. We'll wait for that one to come off entirely. And usually semi-rule of thumb is if the backing is sticky, the carrier is sticky, it's a hot peel. If it's not, it's probably a cold peel. Another District T that coordinates very nicely, a little V-neck raglan sleeve type of, looks like a softball type of jersey. This is a classic reason why we like threadability. If I'm going to do a design on the back of this V-neck would put an imprint on that back logo or the name and number back there, and it would not come out. It would always be there. So having this shirt split so that I don't have that on the back side or even right here giving me problems, especially with this braid trim. This is a lot thicker. This would actually give me some problems as far as good pressure, especially if my design was up a little closer to the front, or to the top rather. Centering. Together another V-neck, so we're going to kind of hug a little close. I don't like to go closer than a ½ an inch to any pre-printed or seam or anything on a shirt. Just a rule of thumb that I've picked up over the years of decorating. So you can say, oh, let's cleat that up a real top, but if you get up this high, that's starting to look really crowded. So I want a minimum of a ½ inch away. An inch is better if you can afford it. So we'll kind of split the difference here. Hot peel. Tack it. Peel it. You said you didn't preheat that. I didn't. One thing is too, once you press over and over on top of this pad, it retains the heat. When I touch this, it's actually very, very warm. It's preheating that shirt just by sitting on top of that lower pad. So always, getting rid of the moisture and stuff like that, a lot of that's happening just by laying it on top of there. If you have pressed very recently, you continue the cycles back and forth. Now comes the glaze. This one's definitely a sweetheart. This one was cut in such a way, a little forgiveness given, so it gave us a little bit of an outline and actually makes it more readable. It isn't just to make it easy to line up. So you see we've got a purple gap outline around the outside. Had she taken that all the way to the edge, it would be a little bit tougher to read because all those zigs and zags would kind of take my eyes away from the actual lettering. Now we've got at least the bold outline of the lettering of the MHS on there. You can see the dance team here doesn't show up really, really well on there, which is kind of cool. That tone-on-tone type of design is not a bad thing, but you definitely will see it as the light hits it as we move it around. Let's cool it down. This one is more of a cold, true cold, not just a warm. So I'm going to lay it on the table to get it done a little bit quicker. But again, if I'm doing 10 or 15 of these, by the time I do my 10th one, all of these have cooled and I just go back and peel them prior to putting them in the box or if I'm adding any other embellishments to them. That should be good enough. And we're going to do a peel here. Always being careful up front to make sure that I'm good before I get too crazy. Feeling confident now, so we'll go a little bit quicker. And if you felt, again, if you felt like something may have lifted, you went, ooh, I don't know, that may have been cut a little deep. Covering it and pressing a second time, there's no crime in that. In fact, it's just going to make you feel better. Let's take that to the close-up table. There you go. And while in some cases, if I turn this a certain way, you kind of lose the word dance team and you give it another look, you'll actually definitely see it. And the iridescence of that, I believe that's gold on top of the purple. Even though it hardly looks gold, it's golder than silver. You're never going to get anything really, really super bold out of the glaze. It's more of an enhancement and a tone-on-tone type of iridescence. That is money when it comes to profitability. Appreciate your time today. Our next class is going to be on June the 9th. Karen, you got details on that?
The next class on June 9th is actually another two-part. It's Increasing Apparel Profits with Applique Part 1, Creating Artwork and Sew Files with Courtney Kibitza at 11 a.m.
Sweet. Courtney will do a great job with that. Look forward to that. Also, don't forget the morning show on Mondays as usual. So this Monday won't be happening, will it? This Monday's Memorial Day. Yay, you get a day off. Awesome. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Thanks for your attendance. We'll see you next time.